Hello guys, welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator once again, and I'm going to basically give you my final sort of conclusion for Microsoft Flight Simulator. As you know, I've been doing a series on the PIMAX 8KX in various sims, and it's now Microsoft Flight Simulator's turn. And the headset I'm using right now is the one that I've decided to pick and I prefer. But it's not been an easy decision to make, because let me just tell you the things I love about the PIMAX 8KX, okay? I love the fact that it's got a fantastic sweet spot. It really does have a just beautiful screen. It's very nice on the eyes, and it's quite a shock when you go back to headsets like the Oculus and HP and the Vive headsets as well. Once you've experienced that field of view and that clarity over a much wider sort of eye box, I suppose you call it, it really is really nice, and it's hard to go back, absolutely. And the PIMAX 8KX works flawlessly in sims like IL2 and DCS, particular combat sims and racing sims. It is way better than the Reverb G2 in my opinion. However, Microsoft Flight Simulator has been developed with HP, or really, well, I say HP. It's been developed with the Windows Mixed Reality platform, and it works really well for any headset that uses this as its sort of native runtime. Now, I've always said that the Windows Mixed Reality platform, the OpenXR tool, works much better than Steam VR, and that's where things start to fall down for the PIMAX 8KX, because as you know, I'm a massive advocate of motion reprojection. I actually really enjoy flying using that sort of, you know, clever motion smoothing, whatever you want to call it, sort of feature. And for this type of flying, I've said this so many times on the channel, guys, I absolutely love it. So that might give you an idea of what headset I'm using. That's right, guys, I am using right now the HP Reverb G2. What do I like about the Reverb G2 that makes it better in this sim? Well, of course, as I've just said, it's the motion reprojection, but also just the general performance. It is incredibly well optimized and very smooth for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I can get a really nice, beautiful, crisp image and maintain a very nice frame rate. That's not to say I can't with the 8KX. It's actually, I'm getting there with it. It's taking its time. I'm new to the PIMAX type of software, but it's getting there. But it's never going to compete, even at its best. Even when I get things the way I want them to, it's not really going to compete against the G2 for this sim. It's just the way it is. Okay, guys. And I want to be as completely honest and transparent about it as I can. Now, one thing, well, let's just focus on the things I love about the G2 that's better than the 8KX. First of all, when I go back into the G2, it's so comfortable. It's so much lighter on my head. It fits like a, you know, like a well-worn hat that you love or something. I don't know. You know, with the Studio Form balancer that I have on, which I've got to admit does help, it just sits there and it feels really comfortable. That's not to say the 8KX isn't, but it's a big headset and it's definitely heavier. I think that the Reverb, you just feel cooler in it. Also, talking about coolness, the audio in this thing at the moment beats the 8KX. I know that PIMAX are working on their special speaker system, the over-ear speaker system, which might rival this. But right now, literally the index style audio, which comes with your Reverb, is beautiful. I'm a bit of a stickler for audio, and I really love the crispness and the bass. The mid-range is nice. Now, PIMAX, if you are listening to this, please, if you can, have a mess around with the audio firmware, because the Audio Deluxe strap which I have is actually really good. The only thing that I don't like about it is it doesn't have enough mid-range boost, and it needs a bit more of a higher-end treble so that it kind of distinguishes between the bass response and the mid-range. Now, that's me being very particular about it, and it is very good, but actually I don't think it's a problem with the hardware as such. I think the speakers are really, really good. It's just the firmware needs updating, because the index audio in the Reverb is really beautifully crisp, and just the general balance of that frequency response is perfect. So yeah, basically the G2 performs better in this sim, it's more comfortable, and it has better audio. Also, it has nicer colours. The colours in this are really nice, and I'm looking forward to trying the Vive Pro 2, because apparently the colours in that are supposed to be as good with a wider field of view, so that'd be really interesting. So really, for me personally, the Reverb G2 is my favourite headset for Microsoft Flight Simulator. But if you think about it, right, there's two ways of thinking here. I use lots of different sims. I use IL2, DCS, Aerofly, X-Plane, which I've now tried as well, and obviously this sim. All of them, apart from Microsoft Flight Simulator, I prefer the PIMAX. So in some ways, it actually wins. Overall, the overall verdict, the PIMAX 8KX actually wins this whole series of tests. But when it comes to this in particular, the Reverb G2 is better. And that, again, is not really the fault of PIMAX, but it's actually Asobo. They need to really work on getting this sim compatible with wider field of view headsets like the 8KX. Once they do that, and I think that is planned, then I might revisit this sort of conclusion. So yeah, you might not have been expecting that, guys, because obviously recently I've been praising the 8KX, but it's not perfect. In fact, there's no headset that's out there that's really perfect, to be honest. Now, what don't I like about the Reverb G2? Well, do you know what? When I used the Reverb, after literally flying with the 8KX pretty much all week, I was shocked. It feels like I'm looking through a pair of toilet rolls. Like binoculars. It feels really enclosed. It's quite strange. And even in a little turbo arrow like this with the cockpit, if I leave my view centered, I can't read the GNS 530 just over there. I've got to do that to read it, and then I'm back again. Now with the 8KX, I can read the entire cockpit, and that is not just because of the field of view, it's the sweet spot. It really is extraordinary, and that's where I think the PIMAX really excels. They've nailed the optics in that thing. I was quite shocked. There's just no Mura, and there's no lens flare either. Lens flare? That's not the right word. Lens glare. Yeah, you know what I mean. There's just no glare, and it's better at night time as well. So even though I prefer the G2, to be honest, it's a close one. And this is something I want to now point out before I end this little video. There's been a lot of people out there that have been struggling with the Reverb G2, particularly AMD owners. If you have an AMD based system and you're trying to use Microsoft Flight Simulator with the Reverb G2, no doubt you've been having a nightmare. My good buddy Sven, who is a massive support of the channel, and actually he's started his own YouTube channel, and I'll link that in the description below. Please give him a like and subscribe. I really feel for him, because he's got a Reverb G2 and he has crashed to desktops all of the time. Now, really, it's pretty much obvious that the Reverb G2 does not like AMD-based chipsets, and I don't think it's going to be sorted anytime soon. If you're in that boat and you want that incredible clarity and field of view, then perhaps the PIMAX 8KX could work for you. I am going to be posting plenty more content with the PIMAX in this sim because I still love it and I think it's absolutely incredible. And if I'm not doing what I'm doing now, that is flying nice and low with motion reprojection, I actually do really like using the 8KX because of that wider field of view and that beautiful sweet spot. So, as always guys, these tests, they're not always a simple thing to get right, but if you want me to summarise, for Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Reverb G2 is by far the better headset. It really is. I prefer it. But overall, across all of my sims, including DCS, IL2, X-Plane, which I'll show some X-Plane on the channel very soon, if I haven't already, the 8KX wins. It really does. So it's a great headset to have in my, I guess, hangar, really. But, you know, the Reverb G2, I absolutely adore this headset, and once, you know, I've been flying in it for a while, I get used to the field of view, of course. I do have to move my head around a lot more, though. But I hope that's of some interest to you guys. And, you know, I've had some passionate comments on YouTube recently, because obviously people love what they use, and of course I understand that. I'm only here to give you my overall verdict and experiences, because I'm very lucky to have both of these incredible headsets, as well as the Vive Pro and Vive Pro 2 as well, which I'll be posting content on that very soon as well. A very exciting time on the channel. I really do appreciate all your support, guys. I do appreciate it. And if you do want to buy a PIMAX, I have a very small little discount code. It's not a massive amount, it's about $20–30 off, but you know, every little helps. It's VR Sim Guy. Please feel free to use that if you are going to buy any of the PIMAX headsets, really. But for me personally, I'll say it one more time just to reiterate and keep this nice and clear and crisp. The Reverb G2 is the clear winner, pardon the pun, for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm going to continue my Norway tour. Asabo, thank you so much for all you are doing for the GA community. General aviation flying in VR has never been as good as this, and it probably will never be as good as this again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's it from me. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye for now.